Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, although Prahlad Maharaj was only a 5-year-old boy, the citizens considered him like a father, it is said. Someone may wonder, how can a 5-year-old boy be considered like a father? Because he was spiritually so mature and advanced. He behaved with all sublime qualities. So you will see, although he was the prince, his father was the king of not only this world, but of all the 3 worlds. Still, there was not even an iota of false pride in Prahlad. In the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that he was very handsome also. He was very handsome, well decorated with all jewelry. He was the prince of the king. He was a successor to his father and going to become the next king of the world. But all these things, even his knowledge and his talents and skills, none of this made him proud at all. Because he could clearly see the temporary nature of the material world there. And he was never infatuated by false pride, it is said. So, in youth, if one possesses bodily beauty or education or high birth or such kinds of things, Kuntimanani says it produces false pride. And due to false pride, one is unable to call the holy names of the Lord fervently. Because one very strongly identifies with the body and one considers the body to be permanent. Just like you will see a supari, what do you call that in English? Betel nut. Betel nut or a coconut. When it is green, it is attached to the cover. But later on, when it dries up, then it withdraws inside. You have seen that? Then sound will come. It becomes separate. Similarly, when one is young, then one's bodily consciousness is very high. One identifies the body, one thinks I am fair, I am tall, I am strong. One thinks I am going to be here forever. One is unable to see that, things can change in a moment in this world. So, but when one becomes ripe in the devotional practice, then one becomes withdrawn from the external, glitter and glamour of the world. Then one can actually be called as a Jivan Mukta, which means he is aloof from the attachment to the material body. But Prahlad Maharaj had that type of consciousness, even though he was only a very young boy. He was just 5-year-old child. And most amazingly, after Prahlad Maharaj's father Hiranyakashipu was finished by Lord Narasimha, and Prahlad offered the prayers, and Lord coronated him as the next king through Brahma. Then he is supposed now sit on the throne of the king and rule the whole world. But what did he do? The very first thing he did was not to just sit on the throne and rule. Immediately he called his ministers and said, now that I am given the post of a king, I would like to go and meet the saintly persons now, to take association, so that I can perform the duties of a king properly. So he went to Rishabh Hills in South India. You all know Rishabh Hills is in Melikotai, close to Melikotai. So there he found one Brahman, Avadut Brahman, in the forest, whom Prahlad Maharaj considered as highly enlightened because he was a devotee of Lord Narayana. And that Avadut Brahman wouldn't speak to anybody. He was like Mauni Baba. But when he saw Prahlad coming down from the chariot and coming to see him, with him that Avadut Brahman spoke. He said, I am speaking to you for my own purification, he said. And then they both had a very good dialogue, which you will read in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prahlad is here, the king of the whole world, but going and sitting in the jungle, with one saintly person and spending time learning about the Supreme Lord and how to surrender. Just now he has already seen the Supreme Lord as Narasimha who came out of the pillar. Still he is not complacent or satisfied that I have seen Krishna who came from the pillar and Lord even kept me on his lap also, what more I want? He didn't say that. So he was wanting continued enlightenment in taking association with saintly persons. In this way Prahlad You will see whether he was a 5-year-old boy, the prince of the king, uh, or a would-be successor to the king, or even after becoming a successor of the king and becoming king of the world, he remained completely free from pride. So this pride and carelessness are the two causes of 10 offenses. Like you look at the first offense, you know, it arises due to pride. Third offense also, fourth offense also, they all arise due to pride. And the first offense arises because we don't respect devotees. Third offense arises because we don't respect Guru. Fourth offense arises because we think we know better than the scriptures. We think like that. Isn't it? Second offense happens because we underestimate the Lord's position in relation to other heroes in this world. Like that. So similarly, the fifth, sixth, seventh, uh, eighth offenses all are about the holy name. You know, considering that the holy name glories are imaginary, or misinterpreting it, or abusing it, underestimating it. All these things happen again because of foolishness and ignorance and false pride of one's position. Yeah. The ninth offense, 10th offense happen due to carelessness, inattentiveness. So, inattentiveness or false pride. These are some items that we can work on to purify our heart. So, any sane spiritual person should be beware of these two qualities. So, one should be watchful at every moment. Like Rahugana was sitting on the palanquin and arrogantly speaking. The moment he realized the person carrying palanquin, Jadabharata, is an enlightened soul, what he did? Immediately he jumped out of the palanquin and fell at his feet and caught his feet, and he said, Naham Vishanki Surarajavajran Natrakshashulan Yamasya Dandat. So he said, I am not afraid of Yama's Danda, or, Shiva's Trishul, or, the weapon of Varuna, noose and all that. Shanki Visham Brahma Kulavamana, but I am afraid to offend a Vaishnava, I said. So in this way, he was very intelligent, alert. So we all have to be alert like him at every moment, not to offend others. And we also have to be very attentive in avoiding careless mistakes in performance of devotion service. By doing this during the course of the day, we can very carefully avoid offenses. And then the chanting of the holy name next day would be naturally more attentive and more respectful. And that is what is going to gradually increase the purification. Harinam Prabhu ki